From the outside, it looked like the perfect trip. A mother, her teenage daughter, and her best friend heading to Yosemite for a getaway. It was supposed to be a break, something exciting, something they'd always remember. But what started as a normal trip ended in something no one saw coming. Carol's son was a mother, a business owner, and someone who loved her family deeply. She lived in California and was known as responsible, organized, the kind of person who planned everything carefully. Her daughter, Julie Sund, was 15 years old. She was young, full of life, excited to get away and experience something new. Traveling with them was Julie's close friend, Silvina Peluso. She had come from Argentina to visit, and this trip to Yosemite was something they had all been looking forward to. This wasn't just a normal trip. It was something they had planned. A chance to spend time together, explore, create memories. They drove to Yosemite area in February of 1999. The scenery, the quiet, the isolation, it was exactly what they expected. Peaceful. They checked into a lodge near the park. Everything seemed normal. There was no signs that anything was wrong. No warning. At some point during their stay, something changed. The women stopped responding. No calls, no check-ins. At first, it didn't immediately raise alarms. Maybe they were busy. Maybe they were out exploring. But as more time passed, that feeling started to shift. Back home, Carolee's husband, Jen's son, began to worry. This wasn't like her. She wouldn't just go silent. She wouldn't leave people wondering. And that's when concern turned into something much deeper. He reported them missing, and almost immediately, it took a strange turn. Jens received a phone call, a man claiming the women had been kidnapped. He demanded money. He gave instructions, and for a moment there was hope that they were still alive. But something didn't add up. Investigators started looking closer. The call didn't match what they were seeing, and the timeline didn't add up. As the investigation continued, they realized this wasn't a kidnapping. It was something else, something far worse. The women had never left the area. They had been targeted shortly after arriving. Cary Stayner approached them near their lodging and forced them to leave with him. At some point after that, he separated them. Carol and her daughter Julie were killed sometime after. Silvina was kept alive for a short time, but then she was also killed. The reality of what happened was devastating. What started as a peaceful trip ended in something unthinkable. Investigators eventually identified a man named Cary Stayner. He worked in the area, someone familiar with the surroundings, someone who blended in, someone no one would have suspected at first. He was arrested and later confessed, bringing an end to part of the case, but not to the pain it caused. And then there was something else about this case that made it even more unsettling. Cary Stayner's younger brother, Steven Stayner, had once been kidnapped as a child. He was held for 7 years before managing to escape and rescue another victim. It was a story that shocked the country, and when Steven came home, everything changed for that family. Some people have questioned what that must have been like, to grow up in the shadow of something like that, to have something so traumatic shape your life. It doesn't excuse anything, but it adds another layer to a case that already feels difficult to understand. In the end, Cary Stayner was convicted, but for the families of Carol, Julie, and Silvina, there was no real closure. What was supposed to be a simple trip, something exciting, something they had planned, ended in a way no one could have imagined. And it's a reminder that even the most normal moments can take a turn that you never see coming.